Hello, my name is Zainab Piaha, and this is a role play video for a class assignment. So this is not a real counseling session. All right, so Kay, thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate you taking the time to just come and talk about what's going on. I just want to let you know this is a safe space, so whatever you feel like you would like to discuss, feel free. And so yeah, just tell me a little bit what's been happening recently.
Yeah. Okay. Um, Honestly, I just feel like I'm going through a lot recently. I feel like life's been a little tough and just kind of coming in. It seems like it's about time, I guess. It's about time that I sought out help for it and kind of came in and kind of get some clarity about some things. And I just felt like I needed to come in and see someone kind of outside of my circle
Okay.
a little bit. Yeah, my circle is pretty small, pretty conservative, and
Mhm.
just some of the issues that I feel like I'm going through, they just can't quite help in that nature. So I just thought maybe this was a better setting to do that, I guess.
Yeah. So it kind of sounds like you have some issues that have come up recently that you don't necessarily feel comfortable with the people that are around you talking about.
Yeah, I would say so. I think like some of these topics are really personal
Mm,
and they might be hard for me at times to bring up, and like in our conversation and just in general feel like it's been a lot of kind of self struggle with them.
mhm.
And my close circle is my family. I have my mom and my dad,
Okay.
and I have one other brother, and then I just have my partner that I've been seeing for a little bit. So, or I guess it's a little bit, it's been 2 years. So I guess that's
Okay.
not really a little bit, but feels like it. So I think just having them, it's been difficult to talk about kind of what I've been going through. And I'm very much a person to keep it all inside and kind of bottle it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think through what they've been noticing in my behavior and kind of the changes, and maybe more easily frustrated with some things, that
Mhm.
I kind of decided to take this avenue and come and try to get some help for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you said you've been with your partner for 2 years.
Mhm.
That's really exciting. And how would you say the nature of your relationship is? Has it been super healthy? What's been kind of the switch from, seemingly going really well to kind of some frustration?
Yeah, honestly, we started dating in college and it was going really well. Just like college students, no problems really.
Mhm.
Like it didn't feel like we had any big issues. But I guess the more time like we've spent together, the more time like we're trying to like open up.
Mhm.
And I think we kind of got to a point where like we were very healthy and emotional kind of intimacy with one another, and just kind of the aspect of being physical, I guess,
Yeah.
is not a topic that I'm too comfortable talking about. And
Mhm.
that's kind of like a big problem that's been going on recently, is kind of transitioning. We hit kind of that mark where we both decided that we might be comfortable, I guess, transitioning into more physical components in our relationship.
Yeah.
But that also kind of goes against like my parents and like what they value, and
Mhm.
just kind of that aspect. So I feel like I'm battling kind of my moral conscience and kind of like like my parental values, I guess, that they've instilled in
Mhm.
us, and also kind of just feeling totally lost in it because that wasn't in my household, and kind of the values that they had around it was very
Mhm.
much like we don't talk about it until marriage kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think just how comfortable I feel with him, my partner, and just kind of where we feel like we are. Like we've been trying to take those steps, I
Mhm.
guess. And it was always something that I felt like I wanted to experience before I marry someone.
Mhm.
So for me, like, although like I do feel the value of it. It's something that I do want to have gone through with my partner before, I guess, committing fully.
Yeah.
And I know like sometimes that comes with shame and kind of guilt. And I feel like I'm experiencing that a little bit too. But I don't know. I just feel like me and my partner, I'm not getting the full experience out of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have much knowledge in that area
Mm-hmm.
of intimacy. So it's really hard for me to like know. But I mean, growing up in kind of the age we did, just like our age groups, it's you kind of hear what it's supposed to, like what you're supposed to experience.
Right.
And I feel like I can see him experiencing that. And we talk about it like after like going through it, and like he talks about it like it was good and he experienced like what he was supposed to, but then I'm just kind of sitting there and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm lost in the feelings that I'm might not. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just kind of lost in that feeling. So I think with the lack of like education and kind of the stress of my values conflicting and trying to please him, but also if I'm not able to have pleasure out of what we're doing, then maybe like something is wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I've tried to do like a little bit of, I guess research is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I've tried to do a little bit of research just to know like if it's like physical issue with my body that I might not be aware of, or if it's kind of like other things going on and I may not be fully attracted to my partner. And I think that factor might scare me, that it might be a thing in our relationship that hasn't been uncovered yet, but is starting to be. But like I said, like my knowledge and my experience is very lacking. And it's not really something that I'm comfortable talking with my parents about.
Right.
And I don't know, talking to my partner about it seems a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like pass shame onto him, because I feel like if he was here or if you were to like ask him, he'd be like, that was great, like we're getting so close, like he's getting all the pleasure and all the satisfaction out of it, I guess.
Right.
And I just feel like I'm present for him, but I feel like I'm not present for myself.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I'm sure that was really hard, and just, you know, thinking about all those times and just processing through all of those emotions can be really difficult. And just to kind of recap everything that you said, I want to make sure that we can help you in the best way possible in making steps to those goals and to kind of what you want to receive at the end of this. So it sounds like you grew up, you know, in a home that you had these values instilled into you, kind of waiting until marriage, and you know, sex and intimacy is something special that you save for your wedding day. And it sounds like a lot of that has been kind of in the back of your head as you've now grown up as an adult, just having that conflict of not knowing whether your values with your parents are the same values that you have yourself. So that can be super difficult trying to process and overcome, and just trying to figure out who you are as a person and what do you believe in. So I just commend you on, you know, that process of just figuring out, you know, what do I believe in? You know, who am I? Those are really hard questions to kind of process and overcome. And it also sounds like, you know, your partner has been really supportive through all this, but there's still that shame of not knowing exactly how you're supposed to feel. And at the same time, you want to be able to give as much as you can, but it might be difficult with some of those other emotions of, you know, shame and guilt and uncertainty while you're going through this intimacy process. So, growing closer to your partner. Does that sound all about right, kind of what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely points in there that I agree with, and I guess just going back to like my partner supporting me, I feel like in many aspects that he has, but I feel like as far as like both feeling like good about what we're doing, like I wouldn't say that I've experienced that part. And I feel like maybe that I put on a little bit of like a front with him about it. And I'm not sure. I'm just kind of like throwing things in the air, I guess, just feeling like it's my body and I should know like what it needs in a way, or like how to like make it pleasurable for me. But also like, I don't know, they always like describe it as like us coming together and like him being a part of that as well. But it's not his body, and maybe like he doesn't know. So I feel like he would support me. I just don't know how to have that conversation with him and like bring that up to him, because I don't want to do anything to like wreck his happiness in a way, but also like just like fighting with like those morals and like stuff in me. Like I just feel like maybe it's not worth it if I can't get to a point of feeling like it is, I guess. But I don't know, I don't have regrets about taking this step with him, and I don't have regrets about like being there with him in that, but it's just, I don't know, if I'm doing it just to please him and not myself, then it's hard. And I'm not saying like every time needs to be solely about me or like my needs. I need it to be more about us growing together and not just really like it's just for him. But I think from what we kind of summarized, like that was like some main points.
Yeah. So it kind of sounds like too, not only is there the internal struggle of, your parents and is this what I believe, and but there also seems to be a little bit of external struggle as well. It sounds kind of like, oh, I don't know if I'm fully getting satisfied or feeling what I need to feel during this experience with my partner. It kind of sounds like he's experiencing some of that pleasure in aspects, but it seems like maybe you might be lacking a little bit in that feeling of pleasure and just satisfaction.
I think so. I think I don't know, it's awkward to talk about.
It's really okay.
I think yeah, I think I'm getting closer to him by making him happy and like us doing that together, but him being the only one that kind of gets some sort of like resolution from it a little bit is kind of like where I'm at this like crossroads of like maybe something's wrong that I don't know about because I don't know
Exactly.
and I haven't used like kind of those body parts, I guess, for this. And this is like my first time doing that. So like from what I know, like nothing is wrong, but maybe I'm just uneducated in a way.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I can't talk to like my mom about it, and I don't have like a sister, and I don't really have like close friends. I feel like kind of all I have is my partner to talk about it, especially since like that's who like I've kind of disclosed things with for like this aspect. So I just think not being around kind of like someone to talk to about that has been difficult.
Yeah, and it can feel very difficult whenever you don't feel like you have the resources to be able to talk to someone who's been through it before, or has the education, or you're different than your partner
No.
in many different ways. So maybe he fully doesn't know how to help out as well, and just that aspect. So if you don't mind, I'd love to just ask you some questions to kind of help get more to the bottom of how we can help you, be able to feel that pleasure and that sensation of what you're kind of looking forward, and build a healthier, stronger relationship with your partner. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So how long have you guys had sexual intercourse? You said talked about the first time and everything. So has it been just one time and that was it, or has it been multiple times recently? And
I guess like going back to like the first time, I guess it was about a year into our relationship. And then it's kind of been on and off again for like the past like 4, maybe 6 months, I guess. So yeah, I would say it hasn't been more than like 10 times that we've like tried, I guess, or like have had sex. But in those times, like I feel like I haven't reached like pleasure fully, I guess. So I think it's been a lot more frequently this past like month or two. So
yeah. So it's kind of come to the point that never really fully reached pleasure, had an orgasm, and that you're now feeling kind of frustrated because you don't know how it's affecting your relationship with your partner. And it comes to that point that you want to continue to grow closer to one another, yet there's still been kind of that struggle or that blockade.
Yeah, I would say so, especially like feel like I've kind of set on like this for a while now, like since we've had like multiple occurrences, I guess. Like I feel like I've set on it for maybe too long.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you, seeing where you guys are heading and coming in and discussing it with me today. And now those times that you have had intercourse, has there been any pain or discomfort in those times of intimacy?
Well, I wouldn't say like overly painful. Like I don't know what's typical and what's like overly, but like we haven't had to like stop, I guess. It's been like some discomfort, I guess, in the beginning. But I think that was just kind of like it's gotten better, I guess. But it was like brand new experience, I guess, for me. So but since then, like I wouldn't say that it's like painful or anything.
Okay. It's good to know. Because sometimes there's a little difference of, well, if there's pain's never usually a sign of a good thing. So if there's pain, working through that on top of maybe not feeling full, orgasmic state or having full pleasure. So that's super helpful to know. And just kind of looking back on the past, because sometimes the past can give us information to where you're at right now and what you're feeling. He's been your only partner, correct?
No, like sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's no history of any abuse or anything from the past as well, either. Okay. And that's helpful to know, because sometimes there can be occurrences where, because of stuff in our past, the trauma from that can leak into our present relationships. So I just want to make sure there's none of that, because that would be a little bit different conversation than us moving forward without that. So I appreciate you sharing that and everything. So would you say that you're comfortable talking about your these kind of issues with your partner? Or has it been a little bit harder to communicate how you're feeling with him?
I would say like in the past it was like an issue of discomfort, but I've kind of reached a point where like I need to find a little bit of a change in it. And maybe like those conversations are necessary, but just kind of working through kind of struggling through, honestly, having sat on the issues for so long that I don't know how he'll take it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, like some things. Because he's been nothing but supportive, like throughout it all. So, but I think I don't know if I would be comfortable with it, but I think it's something that kind of needs to happen.
Would you say if you were able to be more comfortable in knowing your own body, that you would be able to communicate better with your partner of, just how you're feeling with just pleasure and, feeling satisfied and just your sexual intercourse experiences with him?
Yeah, I guess that would help just because like I'm very not familiar with like everything that could help, and maybe like us both trying to get to like the similar solution might help. But I don't know how to help with that because I'm not, I don't know,
Yeah.
like I'm just at a place where I don't know. And I don't know, it just makes me sort of uncomfortable to ask. So,
Yeah.
but I feel like maybe if like I was able to look into it or like gain more knowledge about it, then it would help. So,
Well, if you're willing, I would love to help you out in just kind of creating some homework assignments, you can almost say, to help you make steps of just being more comfortable with your own body, to maybe get a little more educated, in just, what our bodies are and what is the purpose and functions of different parts. So how do you feel about that? Kind of exploring that route of just becoming more comfortable with your body and how it functions and the things that, what sensations might feel good and what sensations might not.
yeah, I think it's important. I hope that I can feel okay with doing that, but it just like might be at my own pace a little bit.
And that is totally okay. You can take as much time as you need, what I'd love for you to do, if you're comfortable, is just start by something really simple and maybe just doing some self-examination, just kind of slowly but sure. It might seem really uncomfortable at first, but just getting to know what body parts are what. You can take a mirror and kind of do some self-reflecting. Like I said, feel very uncomfortable, but just getting to know what body part is what, and also talking to your gynecologist and learning the different terminology and things can be really helpful for that as well. Just knowing what function of what organ helps also with your partner, and just knowing what is pleasurable and what is not. So gaining that knowledge is the first step. And then the second step is, like I said, the sensations, just beginning to do some exercises of Kegel exercises and some self-masturbation, just help, what is pleasurable, learning touches, and then keeping a journal of, oh, this touch it was good, this touch not so much. And then thirdly would look like writing those down and then translating to your partner, hey, these are what I found is pleasurable, this might be helpful, and just building that communication. So kind of a 3-step process, not all at once, but maybe we can just start with this self-examining this week and see how that goes. And if it goes well, maybe the next week we can go on to the second and then third phase, but we can take it as much time as you need. You don't have to feel pressured, or if something feels uncomfortable, we can wait a little bit and go from there. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, fantastic. And kind of looking at your homework goals, just looking at the purpose, what you want to come to counseling and gain. What would you say a treatment goal that you want to achieve then by the end of this session?
Of this session?
Or sorry, of your counseling journey?
I guess I guess this session kind of just geared towards like me and my partner's like next step of like intimacy. And it sounds like kind of the 3-phase plan is like doable. It's just kind of at my own pace. So I think what I'm hoping to like gain a little bit is like more knowledge and comfort, like with myself, but also like building up my relationship as well. I think I don't really know how to form that into a goal, but I think it's something that I want to gain out of it. So kind of just working on that.
Yeah, I think definitely that's a great idea of just becoming more aware and acknowledge just the yourself and who you are. And I think even we can talk a little bit about, at the end, just your core values and who you are as a person, and just diving into those as well, and getting more of a solid foundation on that as well. All right, well, thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate you coming in and just sharing your heart, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.